So here's a fun little trivia fact for you on me. When I was growing up, I had a lot of Legos, thousands, to the point where maybe I was a little bit obsessed with making these huge, gigantic structures, even though I will admit I wasn't very good at them. But still, I had tons of Legos to play with, tons of, they were kind of like my version of action figures and stuff. They were my toys. Back in 2014, when the first Lego movie came out, you can probably tell I lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be great. It's amazing. And it was. It was probably one of the best animated movies up to that point. It was creative. It was witty. There was a lot of different little properties that Lego owned at the time and still own. So, of course, there's a lot of little references that I love, and the Lego Movie 2 is absolutely no exception. Oh, sorry, Lego Movie Part 2. I'm just gonna say Lego Movie 2, and if you guys yell at me, I don't care. Anyways, hey guys, my name is DJ, and today we're gonna be talking about the Lego Movie 2 and doing a little bit of a movie review. I do those sometimes, in case you didn't know. There's a playlist in one of these corners. So the Lego Movie Part 2, it's good. It's if you just want like a solid, one word to describe it, pretty good. Would I say it's better than the first movie? Probably not. I don't know, maybe it's more not to my taste, but I did like it. I wouldn't say it's as good as the Lego Movie, the first one, because that one was just amazing and definitely revolutionary because, Lego animation and stuff, that was awesome. However, with Lego Movie Part 2, I don't quite know if it's as good. Maybe it just doesn't feel as big or as revolutionary as the first movie. The first Lego Movie, I was still technically a kid. I was like 14 when it came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is Legos, it's great. It's toys come to life, and it was, it's really well animated in the first movie. The second movie, now that I've more matured, I've grown in age. I don't know about maturity level. I don't know, maybe it just didn't resonate with me as much, but I still liked it. So if you guys, you can cut the actual review off if you don't want any other, information about the movie. I'll say it's good, and if you have children, you should watch it. That's it. That's all you get. If you have children, you should watch it. Especially if the Lego Movie came out when they were, I wouldn't say super young, maybe super young. If they can remember the Lego Movie, if the first movie came out, I would say around when they were maybe like 10, 11. Then the second Lego Movie would really resonate with them, and they would probably like it a lot more. But now, I'm telling you right now, this is the last moment, so you don't get like any like sort of spoiler. Because sometimes these reviews, even though it says no spoilers, there still might be a little bit of spoilers. So the movie actually takes place 5 years from the first movie. So the beginning of the movie is, and if you walk in, you're gonna know this immediately. So I don't think this counts. It immediately starts right at like the literal last frame of the first Lego Movie. And that's where it starts off. And then it jumps ahead to 5 years later. And this movie definitely drives home the idea of the real world. Because remember in the first Lego Movie, it was all, at the end, it was all about the real world and the connection between the dad and the son. Now it's more about the real world and the connection between the son and the daughter, the younger daughter of the dad, Will Ferrell. But now that the cat's out of the bag when it comes to, the Lego Movie introduced the real world right at the end. But now that everybody knows about, like, the real world and how it connects to the Lego Movie genre, I guess, they really sort of drive home the idea of, like, yes, the real world exists, because it shows up a lot more in the Lego Movie Part 2, and I really like it, because that means you can sort of watch the movie in definitely at least 2 or 3 different ways, which makes it sort of unique in that sense. So, like, in the first way, and it kind of has the same effect for the Lego Movie if you rewatch it, but if you go into it, if you dive in, it's really interesting because the characters, like the little Lego minifig characters, definitely have a correlation to what's happening in the real world, like Lord Business and Emmett, being the dad and son kind of storyline in the first movie. So in that sense, you can watch it in multiple ways. There is a lot more real world associations to the movie itself and to the Lego verse, I guess you would say. So in that case, it's definitely more prominent that you can watch it in a few separate ways. You can watch the Lego scenes thinking, hey, and this is kind of how I watched it, you know, during the course of the movie, I transferred into like this mindset of how does this relate to the real world. So like Emmett definitely represents the brother, which if you watch the first Lego movie, you'll definitely know that. And then I guess one of the other characters represents the sister as well. I don't know if I should spoil that though, because that could be a little bit spoilery-ish. But it's really interesting because it is definitely like, oh, you can watch this thinking, how is the real world affected by this? Or you can watch the movie being like, how is this like a good movie? Or you can watch this being like, how is this story and this story, you know, story A being the Lego verse, and story B the real world verse, like how are they good in terms of stories as well? So there is a lot of different dynamics you could watch the movie in, which is interesting from a viewing standpoint, because it gives the audience more reason to watch the movie again. And there's a lot of different dynamics you can have with it, and it's really cool actually. So yeah, to round off this review, would I say that the first movie is better or worse than its sequel? So yeah, overall, I would probably say that Lego Movie 1, in terms of cultural impact and, you know, let's be a kid again, in terms of trying to do something no one else has done before, the Lego Movie is better. However, I think in terms of writing, and in terms of really playing with the world that we now have created from the first Lego Movie, I think Lego Movie 2 is a better movie. And plus, there's a lot of jokes that, you know, kids probably not get. You know, they mention, like, different actors' names. Like, if you don't know things like about movies or just about anything in general, like about, I don't know, like Terminator or whatever. Like if your kid hasn't seen Terminator because, I don't know, you're a protective parent like that, he's not going to get like the reference to it, which I don't think that's a spoiler. It's just a little reference there. So yeah, I think Lego Movie 2 is a better movie than the first movie, but I can definitely see why other people would say differently. However, I think they're both really good movies. So Lego Movie 2, I think, in terms of like a kids movie, you know, because kids movies, no one really thinks of kids movies as like the amazing movies. So I think Lego Movie 2 is it's pretty great. It's pretty great. So by the way, if you do love the Lego Movie Part 2, and if you do go see it, let me know if you do like it. Overall, if you did like the first movie, I highly recommend you go see the second movie, because maybe, just maybe, it will continue inspiring everybody to keep on building forward. Anyways, that's gonna have to be the end of this video here. Did you guys like it? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of my over-analytic and dorky content, why not check out this video here? And while you're staring at this outro screen, why not click this little subscribe button? Anyways, hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye! Yo.